Hello everyone. Welcome to IT Crowd Pack Stocks, and this is as usual Prakash here. So today we will continue our journey and we will be going through conditional statements today. So what we understand by conditional statement is if, elif and else, as well as nested if else statement. So just to give you an introduction about conditional statement, what conditional statement exactly means is whenever you want to execute some program which has certain conditions, it may be uh, conditions whether if something happens, then something happens. If I score 45% and above, then I will be passed. So such kind of conditional statements, if we want to execute in a different block of code, then those conditions are to be executed either true or false, and then only we will have to have the action that we want to proceed ahead with. So just to give you a understanding, we can just take an example of traffic light, ATM check, or exam result as a conditional statements. So in case of traffic light, if the light is green, then drive, and if the light is not green, then stop. So this is how we can represent in Python. If light equal to green, print drive, else print stop. So this is how we can execute. In the similar manner, we can check for ATM check as well. If ATM pin equal to correct, print allow access, else print deny access. So that is how it should work out. Now let's understand how exactly the flow of execution will be. So first we will check the condition. If the condition is true, then execute the if loop and continue the program. If the condition is false, then you can either skip the block or you can just stop the code if there is no further code is available in that particular program. Now let's understand. For understanding conditional statements, we must be clear with the understanding of Boolean values, arithmetic operations, membership operations, comparison operations. Now, since if, else, and elif statements will always have a Boolean values as their results or arithmetic operations, whether these operations are true or false, or we have to add some values, we have to subtract some values, or we have to do some mathematical calculation that will result into execution of those statements, whether we are present in that particular membership or not. For example, in or not in operators, or we can have a comparison operator. If is marks equal greater than or equal to 45, print pass, or else print fail. So that is how these operators we should be able to understand. Then only we will be able to understand and write if else statements. So in writing if else statement, we should always take care of indentation. Since we don't have code blocks that are defined in a particular syntax or a structure that are there in other programming languages like Java, C, C++. So for defining a code block in Python, we use indentation. That means, for example, if I am writing if condition colon, then statement should follow one indentation ahead. That is one tab. So that indentation must be appropriately written so that the code block will execute appropriately. So we can just begin with one of the program. I'll just connect to Colab. So the first program that we would like to write is if statement. Now the syntax for if statement is like this. You can either have a only if statement, or you can have if else statement, or you can have if elif else statement when multiple if conditions are there, or you can also have if statement, then you can have nested if statement, and then you can have else blocks. So that is how you can have multiple conditional statements. So we will begin with if condition. So what I would like to check is, say whether I am allowed to vote or not. I am allowed to vote or not. So what I can do is say I have defined a variable, say int input, and I will just say enter your age colon, and I can just have another variable in place as input enter your CITI ZDN SHIP citizenship, and you can just write a colon. Now I will just say if A is greater than or equal to 18 and see here I am using AND operator, and B is equal to Indian, and I'll just write colon. See the indentation automatically comes. Print here I think I am supposed to use only single equal to. Print I am allowed to vote. Okay. Now I'm not writing any else statement since we are just looking at if statement. Now I am entering my age as 21 and I am entering my citizenship as INDI Indian. So I am allowed to vote. Now if I will execute it again like this, and if I say my age is 9 and my citizenship is say INDI Indian, the code will stop right here because we have used AND operator. Whenever both the conditions are true, then only I am allowed to vote. That is will get printed. Otherwise, it will not execute the if loop. Now, if I will say my age is 21 and I am saying my citizenship is say British. So if you see again, it won't work for this particular condition since B is false. So just to have a understanding, when only we are writing as a if statement, if the condition is false, then we won't get any output of it. So that is why we can also have a if else statement. So if you check this condition, if this condition is not true, then execute the else block. So the syntax for that is you can just write if condition, then statement, and again for this if you will have a else block, and that else block will print some other statement. Now let's have the same code with else block, and you can just say else print I am not allowed to vote. Now if you see if I am writing 9 and I'm saying Indian, I will have my else statement that will execute since if conditions are false. So that is how you write if else statement. Now coming back to some other examples that you can check: even and odd, positive, negative, adult or minor. So if I want to check whether entered number is even or odd, how I can do that? Say a is equal to int input, enter the number colon, and say if a percent 2 equal to 0, print even else print odd. Now if you can see, if I write 10, it will write as even, and if I write 15, it will say odd. That is how you can practice for positive and negative, just one condition. Entered number is less than or equal to 0 if you write. For example, if I'm saying a is less than or equal to 0, a is less than 0, print negative or positive. So if I'm writing 10 as number, then it will write as negative number. If I am writing as no input, if I'm writing as 5, it will print positive number. In the same way, you can just create for adult and minor. It's also pretty simple. If a is less than 18 and a is greater than 0, print minor, else you print adult. Now if I'm executing and I'm entering as 8, it will say minor. If I am executing and entering say 85, it will say adult. So that way you can write these conditions. Now let's understand what is if, elif, and else statement. When you have multiple conditions in place, say for example, every if has another condition, and in with another condition you add multiple conditions in it. So that syntax is, first you write first condition, then you write elif condition, then you write elif condition, then you write else condition. These elif can be as many conditions as you can, depending upon the requirement you can write, and followed by the last else statement. So we can just create a traffic light system with these conditions. I'll just show it to you how. So we know that there are three lights, say red, green, and yellow. So what we can do is say a equal to input signal is colon. Now I can say if a equal to green, print you can go. Elif a equal to yellow. I just correct my spelling, yellow, and I'll add colon here. Print slow down, and you can just write else print say stop. Now if I am giving input like say red, so it is saying stop. If I am giving input like yellow, it will say slow down. If I am saying green, it will say you can go. So that is how you can write if, elif, else statement. Now you also have a nested if statement. Nested if means what? There is one condition. Within that one condition, you have another condition, and within that another condition, you have another else block, and you can have different statements like that. Now we can just check the example given above as per our requirement. We can just calculate the voting eligibility. Let's have variables defined. Say age is equal to int input, enter your age, colon, and you can just say CIDN citizenship equal to input, say enter your nationality, and you can just write if age is greater than or equal to 18, print age is okay. Now check citizenship, and you can just write if citizenship equal to say India Indian, print you are eligible to vote, say you are eligible to vote. Then you can define else block for this. Else, this else block needs to come below this if. Else, you can say print you are foreign national and not allowed to vote. And you can also write else block for this if. Else, you can say print you are minor, hence you cannot vote. Now if you see, I am writing 9. I am saying nationality is IN Indian. So first we are checking this condition whether age is greater than or equal to 18. Age is 9, so and nationality is Indian. So first we are entering into this block. We are not executing this. We are checking citizenship, and then we are entering into this else block, and we are saying you are minor, you cannot vote. Now let's have an understanding. If I am entering as 19 years old and I am saying Indian, now you can check age is okay. Now check citizenship. You are eligible to vote. Now if I can check, my age is 21. However, my nationality is BRITIS, BRITIS, British. So if you see age is okay, now check citizenship. You are a foreign national, you are not allowed to vote. So that is how nested if condition works. So far we have checked if condition, we have also checked if else conditions, we have also checked if else condition, we have also checked if uh, nested if conditions. So that is how it works. So we can also check if conditions for membership operators. Like in this particular example, I have defined one string. I have defined one string as Python, and then I am just checking whether py exists in this particular string. Then what I can say, if py in language so and so, print found. So here if you see, this is a membership operator that is being used. Now if I execute this, this is getting identified. Now if I say I will define one more input variable here, say I'm put input, and I'll say check string is ri string is, and I'll write colon. Now if you see, I just need to check gh. Okay, so I just need to say if py in if a in language, I need to check. I need to say if a in language. So if I'm saying gh, it will stop right there. I'll just write a else condition for this, ELSE, else, say print not found, and I'll just correct the indentation for this print, and I'll execute this. And if I say gh, see not found is executed. This is how you can use membership operator. In the same way, you can also use identity operator. Identity operator are is operator, right? So here I have defined a list, say a equal to 1, 2, 3, 4.56, say TREV true, etc. And I will just check b. I will define one more operator, one more variable as b equal to a. So I am just asking if a and b are same, that is if a is b, print same object. So I'll just execute this. So it is executing as same object. So we can also have a shorthand if statement. In shorthand if statement, what syntax we follow is we need to first provide the result, that is what we want to show as an output. So it will follow as output what you require, and then followed by your condition. So then you have if and then condition. So this is how the syntax is. So what I can do is we can just check odd, say print number is odd if a module 2 equal to is not equal to, I should say not equal to 0, else print even, not equal to 0. Else print even, but I need to define the number first, right? So here a equal to int input enter your number. So now if you see what is the issue, okay, I can put it in parentheses, sorry, single quote, and again say I'm writing as 15. Now if you see, I gave a as an input, which is 15, and based on that input, it is giving me result whether it is odd or even. Now I have changed the number to 20, it is giving me result. So this is how you can also have a shorthand if statements, and if else statement you can write it down. Now we can just check if we want to check the condition and we don't want to stop there and we want to pass from the loop or from the condition statement. So if I'm saying, let's have this particular example. Here I'm saying input signal is equal to what, and I'm instead of writing print statement, I'll just write pass, and then else I will execute. So if I'm saying grwn green, it will just stop the execution of the conditional statement and it will just give the, if there is an output it will give, otherwise it will not give. Now if I'm suppose I'm saying signal is yellow w, yellow. So if you can see, it went into if loop, it checked whether this is yellow or not, whether it is green or not. Then it passed this condition, and again it checked next, and again it gave slow down as a output. So that is how pass can be used to just uh, give an option for a user or for a program to execute further programs or further loop statements. So that is how pass statements can be used. Now let's understand the real life applications. Real life applications can be ATM pin verification, login authentication, shopping discounts, online shopping discounts that we have, banking eligibility, traffic light control, which we have said, student result processing, employee bonus, hospital penalty priority systems, e-commerce coupon validation, etc. These can also be, you can use if-else statement to have these particular things executed. You can definitely check as an homework where you can do these things, and we can just meet in the next lecture wherein we will be able to traverse through various types of loops that are there in Python. Example, for loop, while loop, that we will be seeing in the next lecture. Thank you all.